Yeah, the idea that a child who's 6 years old or whatever would know the consequences, but them saying that 18 is too late and that it's not, that they would disagree with your primary care physician, that it's too young based on the research that I've done. What fucking research have you done where you can clearly point that it's a good idea to transition a 6-year-old?
Well, that's a problem. Here's another problem. We don't know if YouTube is going to ban this video because of what you just said.
Well, I guarantee you this video is going to get marked demonetization.
Well, yeah.
But the Jordan Peterson one just got flagged. And we talked about this book. We talked about the 12 Rules for Life.
Yeah.
We talked about guidelines for living a healthy...
Just started reading it.
It's a great book. Mm-hmm. Let's keep going.
Lobsters.
Put a little more of this.
To understand themselves.
When the testicle reaches a particular diameter and the penis is developed enough, then there'll be enough. If you're going to transition the other way, there'll be enough material to create a vagina.
Oh God!
Because that's the problem. Like, you know, jazz.
There'll be enough material to create a vagina if the testicles and the penis are developed enough.
Did you know this? Did you know that unless your penis gets big enough, you can't get a fake vagina because there's not enough tissue to invert? So he's like, this is him. He's like, now if you decide to go transition the other way, meaning if you decide to not transition, remember how everyone made fun of this, the beauty pageant girl when she was asked about gay marriage? She's like, and gay marriage or opposite marriage, and everyone laughed, and it was silly. You know what I mean? She was conservative, but it was silly. But he's doing that right here. Like, should you choose to transition or transition the other way? You mean, should you choose to not cut off your penis? That's transition the other way now?
Well, not only that, there's a lot of people in the transgender community that think it's offensive to assume that you have to get an operation, get your penis removed in order to be transgender. So this guy's making this big assumption that this is what you have to do in order to transition. I know a lot of people that are transgender that do not have the operation. I don't know a lot. Let's just say that. I'm in a community focus group with transgender people. By the way, let me say this too. I'm 100% in favor of grown adults deciding to transition. I think you should be able to tattoo your face, get nose rings. I don't give a fuck what you do. I really don't.
Yeah, but you're also asking the government to pay for your face tattoo.
Yes, that's true. Well, and there was another thing. Here, I'll send this to you, Jamie. That was some research today that someone put out. Here, let's play this, and I'll forward this to you, Jamie. I'll text this to you. That's it. That's it. Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that was the thing. That's a good example. It's a public town hall. And it gets removed from YouTube because someone who handed us his business card, Rex Butt, hilarious, by the way. Like the rest of us, we weren't nearly as mad about this as we were just in doubled over in laughter at the guy's name being Rex Butt.
Do you think he had trouble getting securing the URL rights to his own image?
That's
a completely different website.
There's no way he got
to get his URL.
Yeah, I just sent this to you, Jamie. If you follow the tweet, it is by Dr. Deborah So, and it is an article from the National Institute of Health Study, Dr. Zero Van Meter, a pediatric, pediatric endocrinologist. Well, she's anti all this.
Well, I'm saying they don't give any leeway to Asians. Like, it's the minority group that they actually get more crap. It's like, well, you have to be better than everyone to get into a good college because there are too many Asians.
There's so many really good ones. Okay, Dr. Q Van Meter, a pediatric endocrinologist with extensive experience in gender dysphoria, which, by the way, is hate speech, says there is 0.0 evidence that the concepts of gender fluidity and gender identity have any scientific basis.
Yeah.
So this is...
Why she includes 0.00? That's the second
zero. She's money. She's thinking about cash.
Yeah. Doesn't mean anything.
She's thinking about cash, money. Well, I guess you could have 0.01%. You could have 1/100.
She wanted to make sure there was no doubt.
Yeah.
She's burning those extra characters we just got.
Zeros, bro. She's burning the extra 240 characters.
What's funny though is you say like hate speech. Gender dysphoria is still in the DSM-5. That's the actual, like, the psychiatric journal that they use, the reference book.
But they literally call it hate speech now.
Yeah, I know. But it's the actual medical condition.
Right.
What's crazy in that undercover, God bless my wife, she went with us because we need other people to have hidden cameras, and so she posed as a lesbian. A movie kind of lesbian. You're like, really? You exist? Like, yeah.
They weren't even hardly fooled. They couldn't say anything.
Well, she, remember, said, like, I identify as someone with bigger breasts. And she was asking how to get this covered under, Medicare, Medicaid, because they were talking about getting all these operations. And Mr. God bless him,
Rex
Dr.
Butt.
Rex Butt. Was
The
like,
only straight-
I think
straight
you
man
should
building.
mention that, talk about that gender dysphoria. So for her, they use gender dysphoria, try to file it medically to get
Träffar ju
new
ingenting idag.
on taxpayer dime, but it was considered hate speech to say it to the transgenders in the room. It's just crazy. Like, you can't make sense of it. And I don't need to make sense of it. I just need to not be banned for
She just
talking
wanted to be
about
the woman she was meant to be.
Right. Well, anything that you can mock is bullshit. I mean, if you can mock it that openly, if that's that obvious, like getting bigger tits because you identify as someone with bigger tits, I mean, that's bullshit. That's why it's so funny.
I don't think I've ever been more in love with my wife than when she did that. She just, we didn't expect it. She just looked at me, she kind of nodded, she's like,
had
I've
an
always
idea.
identified as someone who has bigger breasts.
Well, did you see that guy that got busted molesting children and said he identifies as being a 6-year-old boy? That was a really recent case. I mean, people are trying this out when they get caught doing things. And I'm not saying that there's not people out there that identify with being a man when they're actually a woman or vice versa. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of fucking crazy people out there. A lot. And to deny that, and just because it's dealing with gender, we're in Narnia now. We're in La La Land. You're not being real.
No. Well, let me ask you this, because like you said, you're not right wing. I'm pretty open about the fact that I'm right wing. I remember watching your show a while back, and you had little guy.
Jamie Kilsey?
Buck Angel.
Angel. Yeah. Little guy that used to be a gal.
Yes, exactly. And then I don't remember what I said, but it was the same kind of conversation.
Killing
I
her,
don't just go out and be like, yeah, screw you, you're a tranny. I said, well, I just don't buy it. And he wanted to get into a fight with me. Like, he wanted to have a fight. Like, let's fight
when
about
did
it.
this
was
happen?
years ago when he had him on the
just
show.
had a fresh shot of test. Jacked.
But
He
like,
was huge at one time.
oh, was he?
Oh yeah, got up to like 185, like super jacked, cause just banging test in there and fucking lifting. But he was saying that his joints hurt really bad when he was doing that.
It's almost like it's unnatural. So
crazy.
But back then,
Yeah,
when you
look
had
at
him
that.
on,
Jacked. Like if I had to roll with that guy, I'd be like, fuck. All right, here we go.
no, come on, you wouldn't have problems with that.
Try to be kind.
Yes, exactly. The point is, back then, let me ask this: did you realize it was going to get as insane? Like, or did you just think this was kind of
No.
this is an interesting guest?
Well, he's a nice guy, and
Right.
you know, I'm more than willing to call him a man, and that was one of the things that I said. I said, look, man, you're a person. Whatever your name is, whether it's Buck or Fred or Wilma, I don't care. I just whatever you want to be called. I'll call you whatever noise that you connect with you as a being.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. And if you can explain to me where you feel happier being a man, I'm 100% in support of you doing that. What drives me crazy is people making decisions for 6-year-olds, people pushing 6-year-olds in certain directions, and I know that this does happen. And I
Jag träffar
I
aldrig så.
Well, you
I
have to
can't
cut it off
get
the
too personal
past.
about this, but I have a friend who has an ex-wife that turned his child into a girl.
Yeah.
And like tried this and was pushing this, and kids are very fucking pliable, man.
Oh yeah.
This is
Ja,
not.
typ
I mean,
59
maybe some
eller
boys
något.
would have rejected it, and maybe he was leaning that way anyway. But she was excited about it, and this is something that a lot of people are excited about. And we're talking about a 14-year-old. I mean, I just don't think you know who the fuck you are. You know, what is that girl's name? Ruby Rose? Is that her name? The attractive lesbian with the tattoos? She said that when she was young, she wanted to transition. And she's very happy that she didn't. She wanted to become a man, and she's very happy that she didn't, and she's a lesbian, and she's happy, and she's open, and super successful. But she's advocating this sort of the same thing that I'm saying. It's like, let people become a goddamn adult, and then make these inalterable, life-changing decisions. This guy's saying that hormone blockers can be turned off, and then you could go through a normal puberty. You're out of your fucking mind.
Right.
I'm not a doctor, but I have enough understanding of biology to know that that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just not true.
No, it's absolutely not true. And that's one of those things. Listen, anyone can get lost in the weeds and make someone look stupid with something specific. You know, whether it's. I mean, you were showing me that compound out there. It's fascinating. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to be a moron. You know, less than room temperature IQ. Some doctor can come in who's pro-transgender and explain something and make it sound like we don't know what we're talking about. So when it comes to that,
See, I don't agree with you there.
well,
I don't agree with
you
you
could
on
use some
that.
terms we wouldn't know,
But
right?
it doesn't matter. What terms are there that you don't know about a child's biological development?
Well, what they point to, they go, well, actually, there are these studies that show that the brain alterations occur before cross hormone sex replacement therapy, and it's not true. So we had a few transgender people on our show, but the point is, with these, whether it's a conspiracy or this, you say, okay, I'm not a doctor. And I can't just appeal to authority. I can't just say, this doctor says X. So I do have to, at this point, accepting that I'm not a doctor, accept the preponderance of evidence from the overall medical community and combine that with the anecdotal and combine that with, is there a motive here? Is there an agenda here? Like a lot of conspiracy theories, it just doesn't add up because, like, well, who benefits from telling you, you know, the world is flat? Who benefits from it? Now, I can understand how someone might benefit from a conspiracy where it's like, oh, they make a lot of money off of this, or was it Tim Kennedy as a hunting Hitler thing? I'm not saying it, but it's like, okay, I understand after war, they thought maybe they had Hitler and they needed the healing for the country. Okay, I can understand that. But with this, it just doesn't add up. None of the arguments they present add up.
Waiting for millennial parents to whack off. Turning each of their children into social experiments.
It's disgusting.
We shouldn't ban people from eating burgers or make them ungodly expensive. You're living in a world of what if with climate change. Well, you're anti-science. Hold on a second. Do you believe that if someone is born a man but he cuts off his cock that he's a woman? Now it's just hate speech. What happened to science? Question of the day. We've had proposals from Democrats and Republicans as it relates to government regulation of everyday life. It ranges from banning vaping to no more red meat. This is what we're going to talk about today. What's the most ridiculous proposed regulation that you've heard of